So it is match week 3, and there's 10 games on this weekend, including one game on the Monday night football, Monday night as you take on Liverpool. And we're going to kick off the first game of the weekend is Tottenham versus Wolves. Tottenham were absolutely fantastic against Southampton, putting 4 past them. But when, they were against Chelsea last week, I thought they were all over the shop, really. I felt they were really, they just sat back loads. That's what they're doing against Chelsea, and that's why they lose all the time against them. Otherwise, by the way, they hardly ever scored, they hardly ever win. My opinion, Chelsea should have won that comfortably, 2 or 3-0. But it was 2-2 at the end of the day. But obviously, Wolves, on the other hand, they're a different team. They've got their own different set of problems. If you see my Premier League predictions, I put them in that relegation zone, really, because what happened towards the end of last season and whatnot. But for this, I'm going to say 2-1 Tottenham. Right, the second match in game week 3, match week 3, whatever you want to call it. Everton as they take on Nottingham Forest. Now, for me, these are going to be 2 struggling teams this season. Everton, I felt I've struggled a good bit. I thought they looked terrible against Villa. I didn't think they looked bad against Chelsea, to be honest with you. The way they were playing at times, I thought they were actually going to make a draw. I thought Chelsea were terrible in that against Everton, and I thought at times Everton should have got a draw. I should have got something out of it. So I think they performed quite well. They defended really well. I was disappointed with them when they took on Villa and they lost 2-1. I was like, okay, last 10-15 minutes. But enough of the rambling. I think 1-1. I think it's going to be 1-1, yeah. The third match, game week 3, Leicester City as a take on Southampton. Now, these 2 teams are just, I feel all over the shop. I feel they've got really big problems. Southampton, I think they're probably all getting relegated this season. That may come back to Horners, I don't know, but they look like they're going to get relegated. Leicester City look like they're going to finish mid-table. They've got, like Fofana, Schmeichel leaving, they've had new players coming in. 2 managers to likely get the sack early on the season. But for me, it's probably going to be, I'm hoping I don't know it, 1-1. I'm going to go with 1-1, yeah. The fourth match of match week 3, Fulham is to take on Brentford. Now, Fulham, I think, have surprised a lot of people. A good result against Liverpool. Obviously, Mitro missing a penalty against Wolves. That's massive. But I think they've done well. I think, 2 points. I mean, they're still looking for a win, but 2 points, isn't bad. It took Norwich ages to score a goal in the Premier League, and they might win a game. So I think they're miles ahead of Norwich than they were last season. But obviously Brentford beat United 4-0, come back against Leicester from being 2-0 down. But unfortunately, these fans, Brentford fans, I'm going to go 1-0 Fulham. I am, yes. The fifth match of game week 3, halfway through, Crystal Palace as a take on Aston Villa. Now, Crystal Palace are a funny old team because they set up really well, but these past couple of games, I know they got a good result against Liverpool. I felt at times they played well against Arsenal, but that didn't really work. Don't get me wrong, I think it was really harsh against Liverpool. And, to be honest, I put them down in my Premier League predictions pretty low down there in mid-team and made that relegation battle. But I think they'll come good this season. I think, these past couple of performances haven't been that bad. I'd be quite impressed if I was a Crystal Palace fan. But I'm going to go 2-0 for Patrick Vieira's Army. The sixth match of Game Week 3, Match Week 3. Bournemouth has a take on Arsenal. And Bournemouth just got absolutely hammered by City 4-0. Arsenal just practically demolished Leicester 4-2. You know, they look very good this season. Arsenal, they do. And I'm going to go with 2-1 Arsenal. So that's what I'm going to go with. West Ham versus Brighton in Game Week 3. West Ham, they look a struggling side this season. Got beat by Man City 2-0. They got beat 1-0 by Forest, which was a shock result for me. And now they're up against Brighton. And Brighton look brilliant this season. A win against Man United at Old Trafford. What is it? The first time in the history? In an absolute dominant performance against Newcastle. So probably going to be 1-1. I'm going to say 1-1. I think West Ham will get their first point of the season here. 1-1. Leeds United versus Chelsea. Ellen Road, I've always an intimidating place to Ellen Road. A scary place to play at. Very intimidating. But I think Leeds will struggle to break down Chelsea. And you know what? I'm going to go with a hammer in here for Leeds United. I'm going to say 3 goals will get slotted past Leeds United. So 3-0 Chelsea. Hammering for Leeds. The last game of the weekend, Newcastle versus Man City. It's at St James's Park. A very intimidating place to go. Arguably one of the best atmospheres in the Premier League. Last season, oh good God, it was just domination. 4-0 City. What was it? 2 or 3 in the first half. But I think they'll actually, they've defended really well these past couple games. They defended brilliantly against Brighton, but they defended well. They didn't really do much defending against Nottingham Forest. Because Nottingham Forest were absolutely terrible, so they didn't really do much defending. Because they never went forward. So for me, I'm actually going to say 1-1. That might surprise a lot of people, but yeah, I am going to go 1-1. I'm going to have faith, 1-1. And last but not least, Man United versus Liverpool. Now, this is arguably, this absolutely is the game of the weekend, really. Not the weekend, the game of the match week 3. It's the big game, it's the big one. Man United versus Liverpool. This game, I'm hoping it's good. They got absolutely hammered by them twice last season. If I was a Man United fan, I'd have been embarrassed. They conceded, what was it? 9 goals in 2 games against your rivals. That's never good. So I can see them scoring. Man United, I can, because I think Liverpool actually look a bit wicked this season, especially with the injury crisis. So 3-1 Liverpool.